Last season, the Champions expanded to accommodate more teams, and the group stage was replaced with the league phase. Well, after one season, UEFA have made a few adjustments and upgrades to this new format. They have entered uncharted territory in some aspects. They also listened to the complaints of the fans from last season and made tweaks and changes to some unpopular rules. Well, we're here to talk about all that in this video. These are 7 crazy changes that are being introduced in the 2024 to 2025 Champions League season. First of all, for the first time in Champions League history, we'll be seeing 6 teams from one league in the competition. Due to the expansion last season, 2 countries get extra slots each season based on the coefficient performance from the previous season. Last season, it was England and Spain who got the extra slots, which meant that they each got 5 teams instead of the normal 4. But then, Spurs, who finished 17th on the Premier League table, won the Europa League, which meant that they got an automatic Champions League ticket, which means we'll be seeing 6 teams from the Premier League in the 2025 to 26 UEFA Champions League. How many of them will make it out of the league phase and into the knockout stages? Tell us your predictions in the comments. While you're there, if you aren't yet subscribed to the channel, go do that right away, so you never miss out on our amazing content. Now, let's talk about the huge change to the penalty rules. Last season, in the round of 16 of this competition, we saw Alvarez's penalty get disallowed for a double touch during the shootout in the Madrid derby. It dominated the news for weeks, with people asking if the penalty should have been retaken and some others asking if it was even a double touch in the first place. Well, due to the controversy, IFAB was forced to make adjustments to the rules, and UEFA has since adopted it. So, from this season, if a player accidentally takes 2 touches of the ball while taking a penalty and scores, instead of the goal being disallowed, the referee will order the penalty to be retaken. It must be noted though that this only applies to accidental double touches. If a player intentionally takes 2 touches of the ball, for example, if he kicks the ball onto the woodwork and takes another touch before any other player has touched the ball, there will be no retake. If the player scores with the rebound, the goal would be disallowed and a free kick will be awarded to the opposing team. There are 2 more rule changes which came about as a result of complaints from fans last season. We'll get to that in a bit, but let's first talk about something super interesting for the winner. You see, this new Champions League season is set to be very competitive because there's a lot more up for grabs now. Apart from the trophy, prize money and automatic qualification for the Super Cup final and the next Champions League campaign, the winners of the 2025 to 26 UEFA Champions League will get something else: automatic qualification for the 2029 FIFA Club World Cup. Anyone who comes out as champions this season will secure qualification for the next edition of the Club World Cup, regardless of whatever they do in the subsequent UCL seasons. This new incentive is bound to give this new season of the competition a bit more bite. But here's the biggest change you should expect in the new Champions League season. It's pretty complicated, so pay close attention. From the 2025 to 26 season, teams who finish in the top 8 will now have venue scheduling advantages. Last season, Arsenal fans complained about having to play the second leg of their quarter-final fixture against Real Madrid away from home, despite having finished in the top 8, while Madrid needed to go through the playoff rounds. Well, that will be fixed this season thanks to the new rule change. From this season, the venue of the second leg games will no longer be determined by draws but by merit. Teams who finish in the top 8 will play all the second leg of their round of 16 games at home. If a team from outside the top 8 knocks out a team from the top 8, that advantage automatically transfers to them. So, for example, if a team that finished 5th goes up against a team that finished 16th in the round of 16, the 5th place team will play the second leg at home. But if the 16th place team manages to knock out the 5th place team, they would now get the luxury of playing the second leg of their quarter-final fixture at home. Well, except they face a team who finished in the top 4. But that's not all. Even within the top 8, there's a difference in privileges depending on where you finish. If you finish in the top 4, you're guaranteed to play the second legs of your round of 16 and quarter-final games at home. And if you finish in the top 2, you're guaranteed to play all the second leg games at home throughout the knockout stages. So, there's now more motivation to not only finish in the top 8, but to finish as high up the table as possible. But will this really make much difference? I mean, last season Liverpool played the second leg of their round of 16 game at Anfield, but they were still knocked out by PSG, who finished 15th. Also last season, Arsenal fans were also unhappy that, despite finishing in the top 8, they played the second leg of their semi-final fixture against PSG away from home. But here's the thing, with this new rule, that wouldn't change at all. Since PSG knocked out first place Liverpool, they would have inherited that home advantage and would have still played the second leg of that semi-final game at home anyway. It's pretty complicated, but a very interesting change, isn't it? Another really interesting change is that there'll no longer be red cards for coaches handling the ball before it goes out of play. In the Champions League game between Arsenal and Inter Milan last season, Arteta handled the ball before it crossed the line in a bid to get the game restarted quickly. The Arsenal coach was shown a yellow card for that, and Inter were awarded a direct free kick, but per the laws of the game, the Spanish gaffer should actually have seen red. Well, that rule has now been adjusted. If a coach, technical staff, or a player on the bench touches the ball just before it goes out of play, there'll be no booking of any kind, only an indirect free kick awarded to the other team. However, if it is determined that they were trying to stop the opponents from quickly restarting play, a red card must be shown. Another thing that's new about the 2025-26 UEFA Champions League season is the venue of the final. For the first time in the competition's history, the final will be held in Hungary, in the Puskás Arena in Budapest to be precise. Szoboszlai will be hoping he can feature in the final, which will be played in his home country. Finally, the UEFA Champions League will also be introducing the 8-second rule this season. If a goalkeeper holds onto the ball for longer than 8 seconds, a corner kick will be awarded to the opponents. We saw this rule used in the Club World Cup, and it has also been adopted by the Premier League as well as other leagues. Well, get ready to see it in the Champions League as well. This rule replaces the defunct 6-second rule, and it's expected to be adhered to more strictly than the previous rule was. The referee will, however, be obligated to show a 5-second countdown to the stadium with his fingers. Now, here's a bonus. Thursday Champions League games will make a return this season. As we all know, the tradition is for Champions League games to be played on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, but last season a few Champions League games were played on Thursday. Many fans thought we would return back to default setting this season, but Uefa have insisted on Thursday games for the second running season. But it will happen just once. There will be one exclusive week at the beginning of the season. During this week, there will be no Europa League or Conference League games, just Champions League. So instead of Europa League and Conference League games on the Thursday of that exclusive week, we'll see extra Champions League games instead. Now, which of these changes are you really looking forward to in the new Champions League season? Which team do you think will lift the big ears next year? Tell us what you think in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, turn on the bell notification so you never miss out on new content. Catch you in the next one. Bye!
Well, you've asked for it and we've finally delivered. Relive the glory days with the most iconic designs in football history. Whether you're a fan of classic club colours or legendary international strips, we've got something to ignite your nostalgia. Perfect for match days, casual wear or adding to your collection. Shop the new retro range now at goal90.shop. Massive discounts await.